He didn't even attend this. And for a night off. Other two left. What did we do?
Well, sounds like you've taken some trips before. So if anybody should have known, you should. Sorry, I think I blame. This t-shirt. That's just right there. Damn it.
Something else. We should openly discuss who's gonna go. Got this conference. I mean, great for the board.
Pretty.
I'm happy with the policy put in place because I've always said, how come nobody's talking about it?
I don't know.
I mean, that's what I mean, it's a principle. Yeah, I mean, I just feel fine. The money, not a big. It's hindsight, that they knew what they knew from us. That's the problem. That's what we. It's just. It's a cut. Oh, no, sure. I'll try to get.
The mother code is, let me tell you what.
And then just a little.
You don't take that many pictures. The only time that I got mine was with my big camera. They were on the field somewhere. That's the only time I ever got pictures of it. There was no selfie. There was no. Yeah, leave me alone. I'm fucking top of me.
Have you ever been?
Yeah.
Need not. Not just keep down. Just this call. And that doesn't even get to the discussion.
There's my.
No, she's going Thursday.
Oh, a pretty girl.
Staffing. Oh, if you want. I mean.
Oh,
Aren't you gonna leave it?
oh. Yeah. Yeah.
We should just read this. You don't have to leave your phone.
Pretty much. I went till the 31st.
Hey, Deb.
I've been doing it on Friday.
Can do.
Then how do you?
Here, you got it. This is your vote.
I'm gonna have.
It's great thing. He does have a water.
Oh, really? That's not on his real estate. That's it.
When did you cut his hair? Once? Twice?
Trimmed.
Yeah.
Cut it, that's it.
Holy cow.
Let me see. Let me see.
That's a ton of hair.
Yeah.
My little two.
Good evening. It is March 18th, 7/11. We're starting a little bit late. We had some administrative discussions with our legal counsel here. I'd like to call this meeting to order. 7/11. Please stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Good evening. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Woodman,
Here.
Alderman Detweiler. Here. Alderman Gettemeyer. Here. Alderman Johnson.
Here.
Alderman Nay.
Here.
Alderman Waters.
Here.
Alderman Wilson.
Present.
Quorum is present.
First item up on the Board of Aldermen agenda this evening is the consent agenda. Any questions from the board or on the consent agenda?
Yes, I do. I guess our engineer show a traffic signal on, oh, that's him.
Go.
I need my glass.
No.
Go for it.
You're fine.
Good, all right,
That's free.
no problem. Okay, any questions from the board on the consent agenda beyond that? None heard. Can I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So, second.
Moved by Alderman Nay, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Next item up on the agenda is public comment. See a lot of new faces in here this evening, so one of the things we like to do before the public comment is in the public hearing section is kind of give a little bit of a set the tone a little bit of what this is about and what it's for. So in recognition of the value of public comment on city issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on matters of community interest, the Board of Aldermen invites residents and other interested parties to speak. Anyone wishing to speak before the board we ask that you submit a completed speaker form and hand it to the city clerk. Miss Debbie over here. Prior to the start of the meeting, once your name is called, please approach the podium. To make certain all interested parties have an opportunity to speak, each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Furthermore, no person will be permitted to speak more than once during public comment or public hearing portion of our meeting. And we ask that you keep in mind, this is not a Q&A session between you and the board. This is an opportunity for you to present your thoughts and ideas to the board. So please do not expect a response from the board during the time that you're up here. City Clerk, who do we have? Can you please, we have some folks for public comment.
For public comment, we have Kumar Survey.
Thank you. Good evening, members, aldermen, mayor. My name is Uday Survi and I live in Bainbridge subdivision. I've been a resident of Dardin Prairie for over 20 years. I care deeply about the future of our city and the kind of opportunities we create for families who want to call it home. I'm here today to speak in support of small builders who are proposing to develop small communities within the city, and which is aligned with the affordable housing vision championed by our President Donald Trump. While I understand the plans that they are proposing may not meet every aspect of current zoning and planning codes to perfection, I want to offer my perspective to the city and the residents who are here attending this meeting. Over the years, living in this Dardin Prairie city, I have personally seen projects move forward in communities that were not 100% aligned with code at the outset yet. They were approved because they serve a broader community need. Those decisions helped our families to grow within the city, and we evolved, and housing remained accessible to a diverse group of residents. Today, we face a real challenge with housing affordability projects, and we have seen big communities coming up, and housing is 500,000 to $1 million homes that are selling in Dardin Prairie that are not affordable to some of the families that live here and who wants to keep their kids within the close proximity, and they are moving out of Dardin Prairie to outward to Warrenton City and cities too far out from here. So I'm not suggesting we ignore standards. Rather, I'm asking that we apply them with some flexibility, just the way we have done in the past. We have worked with small builders who are investing communities. They want to build smaller subdivisions with 10 to 12 homes. And this is a chance to support responsible growth, encourage small builders, and make home ownership more affordable for more people. That is aligned with our federal government's initiatives. And last planning and zoning committee meetings I attended, there was a comment made on density. My perspective, having 10 to 12 houses on a 3-acre plot is not highly dense, because 10 to 15 cars coming in and out of that small community will not challenge us with traffic situations, but whereas having 400 houses in a big community, 400 to 600 cars coming in and out of that subdivision during rush hours is challenging for all of us. And we don't need
Thank you for your.
more
time.
gas stations here. We need more housing, not more apartments,
Thank you.
more
for your-
single family.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
Lindsay Morrow.
I actually came this evening to speak on the same issue with the small lot behind Wyndham Meadows, that 3-acre lot, based on our planning and zoning and the laws in Darting Prairie, the requirement for homes, for a lot size is 20,000 square feet, which is equal to approximately 0.459 acres, which is half an acre. So in that lot that they are proposing to put upwards of 11 homes, it would be much more applicable to the area around to have 6 homes in that specific lot. In addition, based on the zoning and planning meeting last week, I wanted to know if there was actually any of the survey information that was available now. It was not available last week. There was no response to what the survey done over the last 10 months as far as all of the building in the area has done for our community. And so having, all the extra apartments and building that's done around, what is that doing for our community? We don't have an answer from planning and zoning as that survey has not come back. And the final thing I wanted to bring to your attention is that I actually work at Crossroads right across the way. I not only live and have my family here, but this is also my place of work. And our closest, most of our closest schools, we do not have the opportunity to have new boundaries formed. In Winsville, in case anybody is not aware, we had talked about rebounding next year in 2027, but due to a bond issue and needing to repair current structures within the district, that is going to be postponed for upwards of another 2 years, meaning our buildings are going to continue to escalate in size. Crossroads in and of itself at the beginning of the 25-26 school year was at 96% capacity. We are adding 2+ students per day, meaning that at this point we are well at 100% capacity. And as a person who works there and can give you an insight into what it looks like, myself, next year, I will be working out of a closet. We have teachers who are having to double stack rooms. And all of this we do for the greater education of our children, right? My kids go there, and my littlest ones will be starting kindergarten next year. And I'm so excited and thrilled for them to be a part of that community. However, do I want them to be in a classroom with 24 kindergartners? No. We know that in learning practices, that is not right. Obviously, older classes can have upwards of 22 kids, but right now, our numbers are 25. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Morrow.
There are no other speakers for public comment.
Okay. All right, so that's the end of the public comment section. We'll move on to public hearing. I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing. Entertain a motion to open public hearing. Moved by Alderman Gittmeyer, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor? Any opposed? Unheard. So, the attorney, do we need to go through and open each one here? All right, so we just do open. We have to vote for each one. Okay. All right, so the first one on the agenda is I'd like to declare open the public hearing for Rawlings Performance Academies, or DBAT, for conditional use permit. Is there a representative from Rawlings here? Okay. All right, nobody here to speak for Rawlings for the conditional use permit, unheard. Close the Rawlings public hearing then. Next on the list is the public hearing for the Prospects Athletic Club. I'd like to declare the public hearing for the Prospects Athletic Club open. Do we have anybody here to represent the Prospects Athletic Club? Please come forward and
Hello, I'd like to really thank our Board of Aldermen, you, Mr. Mayor, for inviting us here tonight to speak about the Prospects Athletic Club, coming new to Dardine Prairie. Just to provide you a little bit of history of our Prospects Club, we are the oldest baseball club in the St. Louis area, beginning back in 1998. Previously, we've been several locations within the Chesterfield Valley area, but we're very excited to move over to Dardine Prairie. My husband and I have been residents of Dardine Prairie for upwards of 28 years now. And so we're excited to be able to bring this to the youth and baseball, softball players in our area. The Prospects do have a connection with the St. Louis area, namely the St. Louis Cardinals. And so we're anxious to be able to provide that connection a little bit more with our smaller community. The Prospects provide the Cardinal tips. If you've ever seen them on TV, the Prospects do that for them with their weekly shows, pre-games, or if you watch a rain out show, you'll see the Prospects up there helping giving baseball tips. But our main focus is on player development. We focus on strength, mobility, agility, flexibility, and nutrition skills for our players starting at age 7, going all the way through college. So we're excited to offer them this new facility. Our facility will have 8 cages. It'll have a workout room, a weight room, pitching facility, and also, again, nutrition options for our kids. The cages will also come back to provide some additional fielding work for our students. So we will be a one-stop shop, and so that'll be great not only for the Prospects to continue, but also for Dardine Prairie.
thank you so much for coming out. Are there any questions from the board for, what was your name again,
I'm
Matt?
sorry, Stacy King.
King or Kane?
King, K-I-N-G.
King. Thank you, Mrs. King. Are there any questions for Mrs. King from the board? None heard. Well, excited to have you in Dardine Prairie and continue to make Dardine Prairie a baseball community with all the good things going on here.
We're excited. Thank
Thanks
you.
for your time, Mrs. King. Okay, I will declare the public hearing for Prospects Athletic Club closed. Next up is the public hearing for Just-in-Time Lawn Care. I'd like to open the hearing now and invite anybody from Just-in-Time Lawn Care to come forward.
Hello. Thank you for your time. My name is Justin Augenstein. I'm the owner of Just in Time Lawn Care. Our company currently operates out of 506 South Cool Springs in O'Fallon. And we plan to continue to operate out of that facility permanently. I'm here tonight seeking approval for the rezoning of 1306 Isaac Road from R1A to C1. I understand that there were several concerns regarding our intended use during last Wednesday's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, and I'd like to briefly address those concerns. The biggest one that stood out was the retail sales. So out of respect to the neighboring properties, we'd like to withdraw our request for retail sales. However, we would like to request conditional use as outlined in section 405, 140, C6 of the R1A zoning code. Nurseries and truck gardens provided no retail or wholesales occur on premises. The next topic was site changes, and we would be making no changes to the topography of the property. Runoff was also mentioned. We have no plans to do anything outside the norm. We would like to have an irrigation system to spruce up the appearance of the front of the property to make it attractive, as passing by, and potentially an above ground system for the rear privately grown trees and shrubs. Chemicals were also brought up. We would not be in use of any chemicals beyond those already commonly used by service providers in our community. All of our applicators are licensed through the Missouri Department of Agriculture. I'm going to keep going through these quickly because there were several. Lighting, no additional lighting to be installed as it's unnecessary for our operations. Noise was brought to our attention, and there'd be no noise outside of normal business hours, which we've declared as 8 to 5. Dust, now that we don't need, there was a concern of dust, and there was also questions on the easement drive. Since we will not be operating as a retail business, the easement will not be needed. However, there is a recorded perpetual non-exclusive easement agreement between previous owners, meaning that that transfer of ownership does not eliminate access rights for us. Smell was another one, another sensory. No need for storage of bulk materials, as we would not be doing retail sales. So the need for the containers for the bulk materials would be non-existent as well. And then lastly, traffic. As mentioned before, our company will continue to operate primarily out of our existing location. The intention for this property is to serve as an office space, allowing us to provide a better working environment for our administrative staff, as well as we have outgrown the current space that we're in. The traffic impact would be minimal, with a maximum of 4 vehicles arriving and departing daily. Additionally, our crews would not report to this location, and any plant materials that would be transported to our O'Fallon location for use the following day. I understand and respect the importance of zoning and protecting the integrity of our community. However, this property has a long history of commercial use dating back to at least 2003, when Mid Rivers Church of Christ sold the property to Darden Prairie Church of Christ. Prior use before that time is unclear, but I know that Ms. Boschert sold the property to Mid Rivers Church of Christ in 03, so what they used it for prior to that is unbeknownst to me. If the goal is to preserve and enhance property values, I believe we'd be a strong asset to the neighboring community. We intend to invest a significant amount into improving this property, which is currently in poor condition. While we have already begun making improvements, we're cautious about further investment until we have clarity on its permitted use. We feel like C1 has a very light traffic footprint when it comes to permitted uses listed, such as business office, chiropractor, optometrist, etc. We're simply asking to operate in a manner consistent with the property's history and similar to several other nearby properties that are also zoned R1A, but used for business purposes down the street. We're willing to work with everyone and open to any options that benefits all. And I want to thank you guys for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Augustine?
Yes, I have some questions. So when you talk about no need for bulk storage, are you specifically saying that mulch would not be stored there?
Correct. Yeah, without retail sales, there's really no need for us to store any bulk materials such as topsoil, mulch, any plant material that someone would want when they're going to buy or purchase product at a nursery.
Okay. And the easement road by the water company, I know at P&Z you hadn't had an opportunity to talk to them. Have you had an opportunity to talk to them?
Yeah, so I mentioned that as I was talking here. So the easement drive, and I actually have the easement deed with me, was agreed upon April 2nd of 2008 with the Public Water Supply District. They were the grantor, and there's an agreement that, like I said, here is perpetual and non-exclusive. So that would give us rights. And the cell tower that we leased, so we've got a lease with the cell tower service behind the property. It's a 5-year with a 4-year consecutive renewal by the cell tower service, which I come to find out was owned by Wireless Asset Group, but it has since been sold in 2018 to SBA, which is another communications company out of Boca Raton.
So the 5-year frame, when did that start?
2007.
2007?
Yep.
And it's a 5-year lease?
5 years, but they had 4 consecutive continuances. If we're talking
Oh.
about the wireless communication system in the back.
Now, there's also the gas pipeline in the neighborhood. I'm not sure how close it is to your property, but I know it runs through my subdivision and I'm pretty close to that property. Do you have any comments on the pipeline? No?
No,
Okay.
I don't think we would be gonna have any effect on the pipeline if people are already driving on that road. Like I said, that easement drive is almost non-existent for us at this point.
And you don't have a site plan?
The site plan that I provided was basically an overhead view of what our intended use was, so. Whenever Mr. Musler brought up the site plan, he obviously had his, doubts about it but towards the end of the discussion with planning and zoning commission, he also mentioned that it might not be worth getting an official site plan until we have an idea of what, direction we're going.
Staff did not require a site plan because the applicant was not changing the site. He's not paving any additional services. He's not doing any grading. He's not installing any structures. So he's not making any material changes to the site itself. So a site plan was not required.
That's why I mentioned it.
It wasn't. I think the commission's thoughts were that it would answer some of the questions related to public concern. However, I being familiar with a site plan, I'm not sure how that would answer those questions. If there's a concern about runoff, he's not changing anything related to stormwater runoff.
So correct me if I'm wrong, you said there's no trucks since you're done with commercial, there'd be no trucks going through in and out,
Right.
just so you cars.
Yeah, just office staff in the front.
Okay.
So, and there's already a parking lot, if you're familiar with the property.
Yeah.
There's a dilapidated parking lot out front. Like I said, we would like to, spend money and get this place fixed up to where it's not an eyesore, but everything that I kind of said in summarizing was the place has kind of operated as a commercial institution for over 25 years. And I don't see us making a big impact on traffic or anything else as compared to previous uses.
So the land behind the house, what are your plans for that?
That would just be self-storage for us to grow trees and shrubs. It wouldn't be for wholesale or retail purposes.
Go a little bit deeper for me. And the reason I'm asking, I just want to understand what the neighbors of both subdivisions would see in that area.
So on what I would consider a site plan, but I'm not an
Yeah, I got
attorney
you.
or an engineer, but what I submitted basically had a privacy buffer that we were willing to put in, an evergreen privacy buffer around the perimeter of the property. Obviously, our intent would not to have us be an eyesore. We want to be a good reflection of the neighboring properties.
Okay. I didn't get those. That's why I'm asking.
I have a question regarding the property the home itself that sits there that is the primary structure for the property itself. You are correct in the sense that that property has not had much investment made. It's dilapidated from the front to the back.
Yep.
Are you going to make any elevation changes to the house itself to make the improvements that you're looking for, or?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's, one step at a time. I think with your guys' guidance or approval, we would love to whitewash and bring the house up to date and a more modern look to it as far as a complete upgrade renovation of the house. I mean, whatever we would approach with, I guess, would be approved by the city before we were to make any of those.
Will there
changes.
be any signage?
No, there's no signage that would be needed. That was not in the plans at this time, no.
Okay. And exterior lighting, will that be a part of your improvement plan?
Yeah, it would be, yeah, because it's a very dark, I mean, the whole front of that place is extremely dark and set back, so it would be like exterior accent lighting, though it wouldn't be like, tall light poles or anything of that nature that would disturb others.
Okay.
Mr. Augustine.
Um, on this drawing that we saw at planning and zoning,
Sure.
um, so do you still plan to do these greenhouses?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
not if we're not gonna have the retail sales.
Okay, so, but what about the evergreen stock, the deciduous tree stock and ornamental tree stock?
Yeah, but not, it wouldn't be to that extent at the beginning, but yeah, I mean, we would like to have those areas as sections to grow and mature plant material.
Um, so I guess your plan is to use that gravel road when you need to remove these from here?
We won't need to. We've got plenty of room on property at this point. Now, if we were going the other direction, that would have been ideal, but it's not needed at this point.
So are you saying you could go on this,
Yeah.
this way on the property to get to them?
No, you can go between, there's a house and there's another small building. So what's drawn there is not in reflection of what's currently standing. So the current detached garage, there's significant amount of room between the house and that to get back there.
Okay, and that would not be on a daily basis or
No.
whatever, it would be only as needed to get those from this lot
It would be
to,
nowhere near on a daily basis at this point now. And in
okay,
the future, like I said, once we were able to take, it would be evenings dropping off at our other location. So we would keep all of our trucks. There would be no truck traffic going back there
okay.
from our crews.
And you plan on maintaining this property and not flipping it?
Oh, God, no. No.
Okay, I'm just asking. 'cause
If I was
know
gonna
you're-
flip it, I would have hired someone to come up here and stand up here and take all these stones that I've
I
been.
know.
And then I would have spent $2,000 and I would have got the heck out of here. But no,
No,
this
I
would,
understand, but I know that your business plan has had to change.
yeah, absolutely.
And
Just by
so-
taking in everyone else's perspective, last Wednesday.
Right.
Sure.
Thank you.
Oh, so I have a follow-up question, and it's also based on this plan from planning and zoning. It looks like a lot of green and a lot of maybe arborvitae's and different greenery to the right, but not to the left. It's not like a consistent change, you know?
So if you're familiar with the area, there's already a lot of existing mature trees and brush that go down that easement drive. So that
So
would,
you haven't removed any trees?
no, we've removed trees,
Okay,
but nothing down that easement drive.
okay.
Any further questions for Mr. Augustine? Okay. So at this point, it sounds like there have been some changes
Mhm.
to what was brought to planning and zoning. So that being said, we could move forward, or at this point, oftentimes the opportunity is given to go back to planning and zoning and represent with those changes to seek their approval. I understand that the zoning did not pass with planning and zoning. So with that being said, the opportunity is there if you would like to go back to planning and zoning with the changes proposed and re-present to them.
Yeah, I'm happy to do, like I said, I'm willing to work whatever out and happy to do whatever's needed.
What would be the,
Mayor, can I ask a question? Are we still doing the public hearing for the residents? I just want to make sure. Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask. Okay, sorry.
okay. No further questions for Mr. Augustine. We'll move forward with the public hearing.
Thank you.
What else do we have?
Mark Hunter.
Yeah, I'm Mark Hunter, a resident of Pinnacle Point subdivision. I'll be very brief. So there were plenty of good points made during last week's planning and zoning and the questions here tonight about dust and proximity to Pinnacle Point backyard. So I would think that the concern would be pretty straightforward there. My main question here for tonight is, or my main statement is, I think we need to vote no on the rezoning request till maybe a master plan is advanced a little bit more. This feels a little random to me, where it's like, okay, here's some open property. Let's go with this. I didn't hear it in planning and zoning, didn't hear it tonight. There's no reference to a master plan on, well, what should go there that works with the residents of Pinnacle Point and gets us the tax revenue that we desire. So that's really my main point is my opinion is vote no on the rezoning request until we advance some master planning that the residents can get behind. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter.
Sorry. Heather Hudson.
Good evening. I'm going to read my comments that I had, even though they're going to seem a little bit different since he's already made some comments about changes that they want to make, but I just want to put it all out there. My name is Heather Hudson, and my family and I live at 1670 Mount McKinley Drive. The property at 1306 Spizey Road sits directly behind our house. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss our concerns regarding the rezoning of this residential property to commercial for the use of landscaping business and a nursery. While supporting local business is important, I urge you to carefully consider the long-term consequences this decision may have on our community. Residential neighborhoods are the foundation of a stable and thriving community. They are designed to provide safety, consistency, and a sense of belonging for families and individuals. Rezoning this property risks undermining the stability by introducing increased traffic, noise, and commercial activity into spaces that were never intended to support it. A retail or commercial landscaping business and nursery would require frequent deliveries, large trucks, equipment transport, and commercial traffic. This area is not built to accommodate this type of use. I worry this will lead to even more congestion along Spizey Road and the potential safety risks of pedestrians and especially children that use this road for exercise, everyday commute to and from work, school, or other activities. Additionally, rezoning this property can have unintended economic consequences for the very residents that you represent. Some people may argue that commercial development increases property values. Homes located directly near this type of business, like my home, may actually see their value decline. The presence of heavy equipment, early morning, late weekend, or evening operations, dust, and increased traffic can make the nearby properties less desirable to potential buyers. For many of us homeowners, our properties are our largest investment, and exposing them to these conditions creates unnecessary financial risk. There's also the issue of environmental and quality of life impacts. A landscaping business and nursery may involve outdoor storage of materials, use of machinery, and potential runoff from fertilizer or chemicals. I am also concerned regarding the amount of dust and dirt that would potentially prevent our family from utilizing our backyard as we have always done. How will this impact us from having our windows open on nice days or enjoying time on our patio? I work from home, as do some of my neighbors. Will the noise of customers and employees, as well as the daily activities from this business, cause disruption to our work hours and family time? My husband is also a police officer in a neighboring community and works rotating shifts that includes nights. I am concerned that this will impact his quality of sleep during the days. Again, I want to state that our home sits directly behind this property, or this next to our property. The fencing we have in place by no means will prevent people from seeing into our yard or prevent us from seeing the daily activities of this business. Rezoning this property will most certainly affect the appearance of our neighborhood and the comfort and peace of mind of those of us that live in Pinnacle Point subdivision.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank you.
Hudson. Thank you for your time. Next speaker.
Cheryl Bratton.
My name is Cheryl Bratton. My husband Larry and I live on Cruden Bay Court in Inverness subdivision. It's safe to say most people here tonight understand how vital commerce is to the economic health of Darden Prairie. We don't want to be another city known for its cookie cutter franchises and apartment buildings, making it impossible to tell one city in St. Charles County from another. We know small businesses drive productivity and often force larger companies to innovate. However, most people here tonight are probably with good cause, most people here tonight are probably with good cause, agree that rezoning the land at 1306 Feisey Road from residential to commercial isn't a great idea. And in fact, would be a textbook case of incompatible land uses, setting a precedent for approval of other similar rezoning requests in the city. There's a myriad of reasons for being against the rezoning, including easement issues, noise issues, and environmental issues that haven't been addressed. And by the way, Pinnacle Point residents are claiming the mulch is already currently piled up behind the house on the property, and that many of the large trees have indeed already been cut down. But most importantly, consider this. The Southern Star gas pipeline is adjacent to the property under discussion, and structures adjacent to 1306 Feisey are classified as being in HCA Level 1, a high consequence area. Laura, that goes for your subdivision too. It's one in which 20 or more people occupy structures 5 days a week for 10 weeks in a 12-month period, not necessarily consecutively, and are considered at the most risk if there's a breach of a gas pipeline. This is where I point out the Missouri portion of the pipeline was built in the early 1930s. Whether approved by the Missouri Department of Agriculture or not, fertilizer or other chemicals associated with landscaping stored near a 100-year-old pipeline area that's already designated HCA Level 1 shouldn't happen. Between the Quick Trip, the Circle K, the Encore Apartments, Pinnacle Point residents have been under constant assault, and it's time for the city to let these people have the homes and the lifestyle that they came here for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bratton.
Good evening. I'm Barb Arnett and I live in Pinnacle Point. I had a whole thing printed out here and I just scratched through a bunch of things. I was at the zoning and planning meeting and there was a lot of questions that were not answered there. And I'm here to make sure that the concerns of the residents from Pinnacle Point subdivision, Cordova subdivision, and the surrounding communities are clearly understood. The concerns we should have more fully addressed during the previous planning and zoning meeting was when the proposal to rezone this property from residential to commercial use was discussed. Rezoning residential property to commercial use opens the door to a great deal of uncertainty for families who live here. The changes raises several concerns. First, we were worried about the parking. Now that they're not going to have the retail, that shouldn't be much of a problem, but that was a concern from everybody was the gravel road, all the dust and everything being in their pools, on their swing sets, not being able to open the windows. The sidewalk there's so many kids riding on the sidewalk with their bikes. It's just another area, you're going to have to really be careful coming out of there. It's hard to even get out of Pinnacle Point right now. I mean, because of all the traffic on Feisey. We just feel that another business like this just needs to have more answers and to the zoning and to the zoning. And we will come back and talk about this when we go back to the rezoning meeting. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Karen Berger.
Good evening. I'm a resident of Pinnacle Point subdivision, and I am strongly opposed to the rezoning of 1306 Feisey Road from residential to business. And these are my objections based on the following. I have written this beforehand, so I didn't know there's some changes or anything. but the proposal to place a commercial lawn care company, which includes daily storage and operation of commercial trucks, trailers, and loud equipment directly adjacent to a high-density residential area of 876 homes is inconsistent with the character of these neighborhoods surrounding this. The subject of the 2.03 acres is on a main road already handling substantial residential traffic. The increased value of the commercial vehicles pose a significant risk to residents, pedestrians, and school children. And most of the households in these subdivisions have 2 vehicles. Many of them have more. And Feisey Road, from Bryan Road all the way down to Hanley, is only 1.1 mile approximately. And in addition, with the 190 apartments and the 5 businesses at the corner of Feisey Road in Bryan, that adds a lot more traffic to this area. This rezoning will likely cause a decrease in property values for the surrounding homes, impacting a long-term investment of nearly 1,000 households. And approving this commercial use on a small 2.03 acre tract surrounded by homes constitute spot zoning, creating an adverse effect on surrounding property values and the daily quality of life. And we ask the board to uphold the current zoning regulations and deny this application to preserve the safety and residential character of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Berger.
Bob Mason.
Mayor, old women, older men, I appreciate the opportunity to give you my comments. My name is Bob Mason, and I live in the Cordoba development. Rezoning this property on Feisey Road to C1 is a clear conflict with the city's adopted comprehensive zoning map. Property is surrounded by acres and acres of residential property representing hundreds and hundreds of homes. My address is 142 Altamira Drive, or Altamira Court. My lot is not that large. My side yards are only about 10 or 12 feet, which is fine because the property on the other side is residential, just like my house. My backyard is about 40 feet deep, which is fine right now because it's zoned residential. If this rezoning request goes through and is approved, that property will become commercial. So there will be a commercial outdoor business operating in full view and full hearing of my house with, I assume, outdoor equipment, which they would have to run their business. So 40 feet from where you're sitting is probably a little less than to that back wall. That's how close a commercial outdoor business will be to my house. I think there's no doubt that having that will cause damage to the value of my house and other houses around the property. At some point here, you all will have a vote on this. It won't take long to vote, only a minute or two. However, the neighborhoods that would be directly affected by the result of that vote will live with the result, good or bad, every day, day after day. Thank you.
Mr. Mason.
Carl Pfeiffer.
Good evening. I just want to make an attempt to make this all the more real to you all who are sitting in front of me. From where I'm standing to that green wall is the distance from my back line to the edge of proposed property. And about half of that is taken up by this easement road, which has traffic on it already. So I just want to reiterate what I said last week at the zoning meeting. The 5 properties that are directly along this easement road in Pinnacle Point. I'm sure we're all concerned for the same things. You've heard it already. Dust pollution, the noise, environmental factors such as chemicals being used. Yeah, I know there are everyday chemicals that everybody sprays on the yard and everything, but that's a once every month or two kind of thing compared to being next to a property where who knows how often those chemicals are being applied and the overspray coming to these 5 adjacent properties. So we're concerned about dust and noise and chemical pollution, runoff, lighting, whatnot. So I would ask you to seriously consider any attempts to bring this this business to anything other than a residential zoning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Piper.
Wayne Nugent.
Good evening. I'm Wayne Nugent. I'm actually Bob's neighbor in Cordova community, next door neighbor in fact. So a lot of what he said about how close we are to the situation is goes for me as well. My I try to prepare some notes. What we've learned this evening has changed that a whole lot, of course. And then I'd like to say first, do totally agree with it, going back to planning and zoning and a review of whatever the new plan is, since we don't have any sketches, we don't even really know kind of where that is. But I'd like to, I'd say we're at this point of I support the opposition as well from our community, from our property. Our property line, as Bob said there, adjoins the 1306 property. Our fence is on right there behind it. We have another neighbor that's right there at the same. It does the same thing. So we're close to the situation as well. Not quite as close as a couple of as actually 6 of those Pinnacle Point homes, but we do feel for them. I will say that I've reviewed that plan and look forward to reviewing the new plan, whatever that is, for the business. That was for a landscaping and nursery business, and at the risk of repeating a whole lot of what's been said, I'll make sure we haven't really missed anything that I wanted to say. I was at the Planning Zoning Commission last week, heard the comments there, the discussion with the commissioners. I was encouraged by some of the questions there, and I think they were good questions, and they've addressed some of those tonight, but I hope to see some of that addressed as well. And we've discussed some of this with our other neighbors, and there's a lot of angst, and as you can imagine, a lot of folks that are wondering, how it's going to affect them as far as the noise and of course the threat of a commercial property with this. We're completely surrounded, of course, by residential properties. The closest commercial property there is the ones that were mentioned over on Bryan Road. And I'll say here, in looking, I've looked around at some of the other businesses were to be similar than nurseries. It just seemed like a business that would be better in an industrial area, if you will. Almost if it one of the in fact, one I can use an example. There's one on Bryan Road now that has a lot of material supplies, greenhouses, a lot of water. It takes a lot of water and fertilizers and so on for cultivation. We understand that. It's just.
Your time's up, sir.
Pardon me?
The 3 minutes is up, sir.
My 3 minutes up?
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Thank you for your time and for your comments. Next speaker.
No other speakers for this public hearing.
Okay. Okay, so I'll now formally close the public hearing for just-in-time lawn care. And then we will move to the fourth public hearing for this evening, which is going to be for Darden Prairie Realty LLC requesting a rezoning. I'll formally open that public hearing now and welcome anybody from Darden Prairie Realty LLC to come forward to speak.
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Aldermen. Jeff Simmons with Bax Engineering on behalf of Darden Realty LLC. I do have the developers with me as well as the architect for the project. What we're proposing on this property, which is located along Town Square Avenue, 3-acre parcel, we're proposing 11 single-family homes. We do back to the Wyndham Place or the Wyndham Meadows subdivision. Slide for a second. So we're located on that parcel in red. Wyndham Meadows is to our north. To the east is their retention basin. Across the street, that is City of O'Fallon, and to the west is a single-family residence. Going back to that previous slide, I do want to point out a few things. We are requesting a change in zoning from the new development. My understanding, there's not really been anything developed with the new development zoning classification, and that everything in that area has been rezoned in one way or another. So we're requesting an R1D plan development. One of the earlier comments was regarding the lot sizes, and while we are requesting a reduction in the minimum lot size, we do recognize that there would be concerns with the residents of Wyndham Meadows. And so those two lots on the north edge of our property, those are both over 14,000 square feet, which I believe is either equal to or greater than the lot sizes that we back up to in Wyndham. The floor plans do meet the required minimums. We have a ranch floor plan as well as a two-story floor plan. Our basin is located in the southeast corner and will drain towards the east. The subdivision is consistent with the 2020 comprehensive plan regarding single-family residences at this location. I think one of the other concerns was about landscaping and open space, and the developers are going to include a landscape package with each house as they sell. At this point, I think maybe the architect has some comments at this time.
Evening, Alderman and Mayor. I am Brian Raupt, 27-year residence here in Darden Prairie. I've developed land and houses since '99, from Twin Chimneys to Cove Dardine to Tyson's Corner and Winterstead Hollow and Wing Haven. We will be the architect of record, developer of the property, as well as the builder. I own Dev Design Group located at 100 Midland Park Drive in Lake St. Louis, as well as Beck Builders at the same location. I just wanted to make sure that you guys had a name and a face to the person that would be completing this project for you. And I think it fits in well with what we've done here. It's similar to the detached villa projects down the street from the Knights of Columbus. Kind of same density and changes that were done on that project. Ours will be single family, not detached villas. And I think smaller boutique type subdivision within our city limits is something that is sought after, and especially within our town center growth plan and proximity to the school and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure who I was, and if you had any questions, feel free.
Does the board have any questions for Darden Prairie Realty? Its architect.
With your easement to, I think, the east, you said, is that correct?
I'll let him answer that easement part.
Would that go into that the Wyndham Meadows easement at all? Would that,
So-
how would that drain?
It will go into, it goes along into a ditch along Town Square Avenue. It does not discharge into their basin. So it's completely separate. We'll hold all the water back to mimic the pre-developed conditions.
That's all I wanted to know. I'm sorry.
Any further questions from the board? None heard? Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Any more speakers, any speakers related to this?
Brian, have you already?
Yeah.
Okay. Greg Johnson?
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. Craig Johnson, Ardmore, Wyndham Meadows. First, I want to be clear. I am in favor of rezoning to R1 residential. I'm not against that. My concerns are with the minimums, the multiple minimums that are being overridden by the plan. I understand that on a lot that size, there may need to be some concessions. But when you look at Garden Prairie, when you do your research, 2 times the state median income, 3 times the state median cost value, homeownership well above state median. Their summary was Garden Prairie is a high value owner occupied suburb. That's something to be proud of, protected. That's our differentiator. So what do concessions look like? Do they remove a house, change the lot size a little? Do they upgrade the brick, more brick to upgrade the value, fit more within the community, the property values here? Do they put fencing around it so that it doesn't look like it's encroaching on the areas around it? Because they are much smaller lots and it's going to look like it's encroaching on other areas there. Do they put border berms and privacy vegetation? All options, I think, should be considered. There are a number of small changes that could be made to make that a workable plan without making it look crammed in and small. It's a responsibility of the board and the city to protect the interests of the citizens that live here currently. And that's protected by protecting the values that we all come here for, the differentiators that make Garden Prairie different. I think it's a good thing to do to move it to R1 residential. I just think there maybe need to be some changes made to their plot. I was a little surprised that zoning approved one and disapproved the other. I would have done the opposite, but I think I like to move to R1 residential. Just think that they need some upgrades on the layout to make it more fit with the city and its culture. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Okay. No further speakers on the rezone request for Darden Prairie Realty. We formally close the public hearing for Darden Prairie Realty LC. Moving on to new business. First order of business. Resolution 401. The attorney, would you please read resolution 401 for them?
Resolution number 401, a resolution of the Board of Aldermen of the City of Darden Prairie, Missouri, declaring the informally projected and non-binding tax levy for the year 2026.
This is something that we do every year. We clear our tax levy. City Administrator, would you like to give a little clarification for the audience and the purposes for the board vote on?
Sure, I'd be happy to. By April 8th, the city is required to provide to the county our projected tax rate for 2026. The city of Garden Prairie's historical precedent has been to present this projected tax rate at the current tax rate. So our current tax rate for 2025 is 0.0821. So the projected tax rate for 2026 is 0.0821. Again, that's just been the historical practice of the city in projecting a tax rate. The board will evaluate and set a tax, set the official tax rate in September.
Thank you. Any discussion from the board on this? Entertain a motion to approve resolution 401.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Detweiler, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. Resolution 401 is passed. All right, next item up on new business is bill number 2607. City Attorney, would you please read bill number 2607 by title only for the first time? Oh, sorry. Can I entertain a motion to read bill 2607 by title only for the first time?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Gittmeyer. Entertain a second.
Second, sorry.
Second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. City Attorney, please read bill number 2607.
Bill number 26-07, an ordinance of the city of Dayton Prairie, Missouri, authorizing the city engineer to submit a fiscal year 2027 to 2029 transportation improvement program, parens TIP, close parens, application with the St. Charles County Road Board for the Barrett Haven Boulevard Street Maintenance Project.
All right, any discussion on this? This is the city staff has asked for 2 readings. So just to be clear, we'll, unless the board has any objection to that, we will move to 2 readings tonight for the sake of the time sensitive nature of this. But before, just to prep that around the discussion, this will be the opportunity to have a discussion. Go ahead.
City engineer, I just wanted to know, earlier in the year, we were asked to delay any of our road projects so that St. Charles County could get Highway N widened out further west.
Correct. That was for STP grants through the federal government East-West Gateway Council. So this is just a grant through St. Charles County that they created for this issue, since a lot of municipalities this year were no longer applying for STP grants. They created a maintenance part of their grant program specifically for projects like this that are in need of maintenance immediately and can't stand to put off another year.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Any further questions from the board? Unheard, can I entertain a motion to read bill number 2607 by title only for the second time?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unheard. City Attorney?
Bill number 26-07, an ordinance of the city of Dayton Prairie, Missouri, authorizing the city engineer to submit a fiscal year 2027 to 2029 transportation improvement program, parens TIP, close parens, application with the St. Charles County Road Board for the Barrett Haven Boulevard Street Maintenance Project.
Any further discussion? Entertain a motion for a roll call vote.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unheard. City Clerk?
Alderman Detweiler?
Aye.
Alderman Gettmeyer?
Aye.
Alderman Johnson?
Aye.
Alderman Nay?
Aye.
Alderman Waters?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
6 yeas, 0 nays. Bill number 2607 becomes ordinance number 2402.
Now declare bill number 2607, ordinance number 2402. Moving on to item number 3 on the new business agenda is bill number 2608. Entertain a motion to read bill 2608 by title only for the first time. Moved by Alderman Johnson,
Second.
second by Alderman Gittmeyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unheard. Okay. City Attorney.
Bill number 26-08, an ordinance of the city of Dayton Prairie, Missouri, approving a conditional use permit for certain real property located at 79 Hubble Drive, Suite 107.
I would entertain that the board move this for a second reading, as it's no construction or anything else. It's just them moving in, and we welcome them to Dardine Prairie.
So move.
Okay. Motion. Well,
I made that
you
motion.
abstained it, so did you want to make a
Oh, I'm
motion?
sorry.
Yeah, motion.
Alderman, so motion by Alderman Johnson to read for the second time.
Yep.
Second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unheard. City Attorney.
Bill number 26-08, an ordinance of the city of Dayton Prairie, Missouri, approving a conditional use permit for certain real property located at 79 Hubble Drive, Suite 107.
Entertain a motion for a roll call vote.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, move and second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The clerk.
Alderman Nay?
Aye.
Alderman Waters?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Detweiler?
Aye.
Alderman Gettemeyer.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
6 yeas, 0 nays. Bill number 2608 becomes ordinance number 2403.
I just want to welcome them to the city with your business. They've been a long-time residents of Dardine Prairie. Awesome.
I now declare bill number 2608, ordinance number 2403. Okay, moving on. This is kind of the same thing here, guys. So, entertain a motion for, to read bill number 2609 by title only for the first time.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Gettemeyer, second by Alderman Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Heard? The attorney?
Bill number 26-09, an ordinance of the city of Dardenne Prairie, Missouri, approving a conditional use permit for certain real property located at 1635 Technology Drive, Suite 110.
Any discussion?
Move to
Entertain
read
a second
bill,
reading?
move to read bill 2609 for second time.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Johnson for a second reading, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unheard. City Attorney, please read bill 2609 by title only for the second time.
Bill number 26-09, an ordinance of the city of Dardenne Prairie, Missouri, approving a conditional use permit for certain real property located at 1635 Technology Drive, Suite 110.
Entertain a motion for roll call vote.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Wilson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unheard. City Clerk?
Alderman Gettemeyer.
Aye.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Alderman Nay.
Aye.
Alderman Waters.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Deadweiler.
Aye.
6 yeas, 0 nays. Bill number 2609 becomes ordinance number 2404.
Now declare bill number 2609, ordinance number 2404. Okay. Welcome Rawlings and welcome Prospects. Moving on, bill number 2610. Can I entertain a motion to read bill number 2610 by title only for the first time?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Gettemeyer, second by Alderman Wilson, was that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None heard. City Attorney.
Bill number 2610, an ordinance of the city of Dardenne Prairie, Missouri, approving the rezoning of certain real property located at 7393 Highway N and Stump Road from C2 General Commercial District to R1D Single Family Residential District.
For discussion from the board on this, or the city administrator?
So at the February 4th Board of Aldermen meeting, we had old business bill number 2602, which was for a C2 General Commercial District to R1D Single Family Planned Unit Development and approving an area plan at 7393 Highway N. The board voted to send the plans back to planning and zoning for review. There was also Bill 2603, which was an ordinance approving a conditional use permit for the property at 7393 Highway N and Stump Road. The board also voted to send the updated plans back to Planning and Zoning Commission for review. So I believe these two items come back as old business for action. Would that be correct? Mhm.
Oh,
On February 4th, it was I'm sorry, the first reading was on 121 for both items. On the February 4th, the board the board action was to send them back to planning and zoning to review the updated plans. So what do we do with,
Just do a first.
okay.
Just do a first reading.
Bill 2602 and 03, what about the?
No, they disappeared off they're not on the current agenda at all.
Okay,
He
so
just said, he just said that the CUP to come back. New bill. With the new plan.
thanks, everybody. Sometimes these meetings you have to sidebar with legal on nuances of how we proceed. So thank you for your patience. To the board, any further discussion on bill number 2610?
How do we read this for a second time tonight?
Oh, this is a new bill.
Okay, I'm just trying to get it all straight.
So Bill 2602 and 2603 were sent back to planning and zoning on February 4th. But it's come back in the shape of a new bill. And we're going to move forward with that. So, John, you want to, is there anything further we need to, no? Okay. All right. No further discussion on that. We will move forward to the next item on the agenda, which is bill number 2611. Can I entertain a motion to read bill 2611 by title only for the first time?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Wilson, second by Alderman Gittlemeyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mhm.
None heard. City Attorney?
Bill number 26-11, an ordinance of the city of Dardenne Prairie, Missouri, approving the rezoning of certain real property located approximately 875 feet west of Highway N and Ardmore Drive, otherwise known as Prairie Point, from ND New Development District to R1D Single Family Residential District, Planned Unit Development, parens PUD, close parens, and approving an area plan with conditions for the same.
Any further discussion following first reading on bill number 2611?
Carla, do you have any report from the Planning and Zoning Commission on this?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Do you have any report from the Planning and Zoning Commission on this?
Yeah, let me get that. It was a tie vote, which means that it got denied. Planning and zoning. There was some discussion regarding the density on the acreage of 11 homes being on there. So it because of it being a tie, it was a denial.
Was there a discussion about what the proper density might be that would be acceptable?
By our statute.
No, I don't believe there was. I don't think, it's hard to determine what is proper density. And I think the only thing that a lot of us look at is prior building. We have Arden Point down the road on N that was built, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. It's 8, almost 9 acres. And they put 23 single-family homes in that amount of acreage. So here we have a much smaller amount of acreage, and they're putting almost half as many homes. So,
Much smaller is the lot size from our standard. Did you guys have that?
hang on. Yeah. Minimum lot width required is 80 feet at building line. This is 60 feet. Is that what that's what here? 60 feet at building line. They meet the minimum lot depth. But minimum lot area dwellings, 12,000 square feet, and they're proposing 6,876 square feet. Yeah. Now, there are some lots that are bigger. obviously, when you look at the plans, but the majority of them,
I guess my question is the house any bigger on those lot sizes that are bigger?
that are bigger.
And because we're at half the size of what we require,
Here, let's take yours. I got mine.
you don't have to look in, no.
Well, I think Alderman Johnson, I think it depends on what the person who's going to be buying these homes, which model they decide to put
I know, but
on the lots. And I don't know if there's any restrictions with the builder to not fit houses on lots. I mean, they try to,
yeah, you gave me the averages, so that's
Yeah.
good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Any further discussion on this? If not, we'll move on. This is a first reading only tonight, so we'll have more time to discuss next week if we'd like. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is bill number 2612. Can I entertain a motion to read bill? Well, let me sidebar here.
Is it gonna move it back
Do
to
we
P
want
and
to?
Z?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what you-
first and then.
You can-
I think.
First. Entertain a motion to read bill 2612 by title only for the first time.
Almost.
Alderman Johnson,
So moved. Second.
second by Alderman Wilson. All right. City Attorney? I'm sorry, all in favor? Any opposed? None heard. City Attorney, please read bill 2612 by title only for the first time.
Bill number 26-12, an ordinance of the city of Garden Prairie, Missouri, approving a rezoning request for 1306 Fizey Road from R1A Single Family Residential to C1 Local Commercial.
So as stated in the public hearing briefly, when there are changes of the kind that we've seen here that are changed from what was presented planning and zoning, usually we'll give the applicant an opportunity to go back to planning and zoning to represent that, or can move forward with a vote. And Mr. Augustine, do you desire to go back to planning and zoning with your changes? Okay. So at that point, I'd like to make a motion. Do we need to make a motion to table it or just table it? Okay, so I'd like to entertain a motion to defer it back to planning and zoning.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Gittmeyer, second by Alderman Wilson, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can I just say something?
Unheard? Okay, go ahead.
I'm just not sure we're accomplishing anything by sending it back. I mean, I don't mind sending it back. It's
did.
just,
We just sent
you
it back.
just did, okay.
We just voted to send it back.
I know,
Yeah,
I didn't.
well, there were no names.
was trying to get a name.
Well, it's just to add commentary to that, it's an option that when those changes are made, we typically present to the applicant to go back, especially because it was denied based on a tie vote in planning and zoning. So anyway. All right, moving on to old business. We have none.
I would like to call for a closed session.
That's
Under
exactly what I'm
personnel.
about to do next, but normally that would be after staff, but
Okay.
I'm right on board with you there.
Right.
I would like to, you go ahead. So make a motion to go to closed session pursuant of what?
I would like to,
Personnel, whatever personnel is.
it falls under personnel. So make a motion to adjourn to
Pursuant to RSMO 610-610.21, section 3 and 13. Motion made by Alderman Waters,
Second.
second by Alderman Johnson, all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call vote. Beat me to the punch, Alderman Waters, I was just getting ready. You're good. Great minds think alike.
Alderman Johnson.
Aye.
Aye. Water.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All right. The board will move to executive session. For right now, we will be in there for a moment or two. And if you wish to stay here to the end of the meeting, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, we will adjourn to the closed session and we'll return after we're finished with our discussion there.
I was gonna say,
We have a.
I wasn't there before.
Yeah.
Oh, oh. All right, I'd like to call the regular Board of Aldermen meeting back to order. Move on to staff communications. City attorney. City engineer, anything further?
I have nothing, Mayor.
City administrator?
Thank you. Just a heads up to the board. Brandy has distributed some use tax flyers for you guys to use if you're at an HOA meeting or talking to residents to help educate on the use tax. And just notice to our citizens that we do have a use tax proposition on the April 7th ballot, and we encourage our citizens to get educated and go out and vote. We have some upcoming events in April. Bingo is April 3rd. Our Easter egg hunt is April 4th. There is no registration required for that this year. And Clean Stream is April 11th. And that's it from me.
Alderman?
I do. I already have my materials being mailed, so I didn't have this to add to it, but could the city do a mailer to the residents?
We
on
are.
This?
We are.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Brandy and Rose have been working on designing a mailer, and they're working with a printer to get that finished and sent out to citizens before April 7th.
Okay. Because I just think there's a lot of confusion.
I think you're right.
With this tax, and I asked Mark about the ambulance tax thing and all of that, and I got in the mail today my thing from the county, and it's my sample ballot, and it is so confusing on those two issues that it just does not promote. Not that it's supposed to promote, I guess, but it doesn't clarify what you're voting on. So if, when you do that, if we could somehow clarify this in regular language, that would really be helpful to the people.
Understood.
Yeah. Thank you. And I did ask, I took the liberty today because you were really busy to ask Amy to give each of the aldermen a updated list for their HOAs. And so she made the copies. And I'd like to, get one of these to the HOAs.
It's our plan for Amy to email out. She's been working on first finding the list because she's new and trying to make sure she had the most current list that we had. She also was going to update it because she gets the reservations for City Hall use from the HOAs. And so she had some additional contact information. And then she was going to email out to the HOAs the use tax information as well.
Because she didn't indicate that to me at all when I told her what I wanted for, but
Yeah,
it's still helpful to have this list.
She and I have talked a couple different times about a couple different things. She's also looking at the HOA dinner that we need to schedule. So we're going to need to pick a date for that as well. So.
And just a reminder to the board, March 26th is the meeting with P&Z to review the moratorium on the multifamily. So March 26th, separate meeting.
I have it in my phone.
Did an invitation go out for that meeting yet?
The mayor's question is, did an invitation for the March 26th meeting go out yet? No. I was going to send it out this Friday.
Yeah,
It's on the
there's nothing on the calendar yet, so we probably need to get that on there. Okay. Anything else from the boards? Nothing heard. Okay, I got since there's nobody here. Cool. From the board. I do have one thing that I'd like to share. This is a certificate of recognition by the city of Darby Prairie presented to Alderman Mark Johnson, whereas Mark Johnson has dedicated his time and efforts to represent the city of Darby Prairie in partnership with the MU Extension in St. Charles County, where his service reflects commitment to community collaboration, civic engagement, and strengthening partnerships that benefits residents of our region. Now, therefore, the city of Darby Prairie extends its sincere appreciation and gratitude to Mark Johnson for his dedication, service, and representation of our city. Issued by me on this day, March. Thank you. Okay, with that, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Wait,
So moved.
wait,
Oh,
wait, sorry. So the joint work session is listed under this, on the city's website, on the calendar, just so that we know it's been posted there. And I also just wanted to give a shout out to Rose. When you go on our city website, there's now a little pop-up for the use tax.
I put some police cars in. People like police.
Sorry.
No, good. Thanks, Rose. Great work. All right. Anything else? All right. Then a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I don't know who's that. I'll get about say by Wilson, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unheard. Meeting's adjourned. 2 hours.